When I was in the 3rd grade, I thought that I was gay, cause I could draw, my uncle was, and I kept my room straight. I told my mom, tears rushing down my face, she's like, Ben, you've loved girls since before pre-K, trippin'. Yeah, I guess she had a point, didn't she? Bunch of stereotypes all in my head. I remember doing the math, like yeah, I'm good at Little League. A preconceived idea of what it all meant. But those that like the same sex had the characteristics. The right-wing conservatives think it's a decision, and you can be cured with some treatment in religion. Man-made rewiring of a predisposition, playing God. Oh nah, here we go. America the brave still fears what we don't know. And God loves all his children, it's somehow forgotten. But we paraphrase a book written 3,500 years ago. I don't know.
And I can't change, even if I tried, even if I wanted to. And I can't change, even if I tried, even if I wanted to. My love, she keeps me warm. She keeps me warm. She keeps me warm. She keeps me warm.
If I was gay, I would think hip-hop hates me. Have you read the YouTube comments lately? Man, that's gay, gets dropped on the daily. We become so numb to what we're saying. A culture founded from oppression, yet we don't have acceptance for them. Call each other faggots behind the keys of a message board. A word rooted in hate, yet our genre still ignores
Does reparative therapy really work? Well, you've heard from both sides of this equation, from men who have gone through it. Now let's hear from the experts.
Suicide rates and the depression rates within the homosexual population are sadly very high, very, very high. Now, some people say that's because we live in a homophobic culture.
It's because of the kind of work that you do
Yes.
and espouse.
Okay.
Do you understand that?
Okay. Well,
do you understand that?
Okay. Yeah. So I'm sorry that you feel that way, but let me say
It's
that.
not what I feel. What I feel is I feel frustrated that you're telling these stories.
Okay.
What I think is that there's a direct correlation between high rates of suicide in gay folks and the very work that you espouse.
Don't go see a reparative therapist, with all due respect, because I believe that reparative therapists have an agenda which they put ahead of the patients. So when a patient comes to see me, let's say they've got conflicted issues in their life. Everybody, who doesn't have conflicted issues in their life? I'm interested in exploring those issues and helping a person discover what's in their psyche, to disentangle the threads, to help somebody lead a whole life that they feel comfortable with. Your therapies have this idea of lines are crossed, and there's something about got sexualized from a male figure or not enough of a male figure. Very simplistic notions that don't stem from the patient in front of you, stem from your preconceived ideas. That's anathema to the American Psychiatric Association, the American Psychological Association. I could go on and on.
Reparative therapy is a kind of therapy that transforms gay people to become straight, or it's believed to do that by these therapists. This is something that I participated in when I was 16 years old, and I want to let you guys know that life does get better. Even if you're in a therapy you may not want to be in, or believe there's no other way to handle your life than going through that. You ever learn to accept who you are, and you think there's always something wrong, and you're trying to get over something that there's nothing really to get over, and you feel bad because the therapy doesn't work, and you think you're doing something wrong, and it's just, it's traumatic.
Now, you're going to hear a lot of people talking from a supposedly Christian point of view about how God hates fags and how God rejects you. And I'm here to tell you that all that is false. We all have human dignity, however. There's no person who's rejected or despised or cast out. And if you read the Gospels, you read about Jesus who's always welcoming people. He's going out especially to people who feel rejected or despised or in any way marginalized, like a lot of gay and lesbian teenagers do today. So I would say that Jesus, if he were here today, would probably be reaching out specifically to gays and lesbians, and specifically to gay and lesbian teenagers, who find themselves feeling rejected by society and often rejected by the religious communities.
So senior Vatican official says we have no comment in this. We're not going to say whether he's ever supported civil unions for gay couples or not. What's your take?
Listen, it wasn't so private. There was a bishops' meeting in 2010 of all of the bishops in Argentina. He was the head of the bishops' conference, and it looked like same-sex marriage was going to pass in Argentina. And so as a compromise, he said, look, we want to come out for human rights. Let's support same-sex civil union. For the first time in 6 years, they voted him down. He got everything else through as head of that conference. They voted against him, which means that most of the bishops in that room were less progressive than Pope Francis on this issue. He wanted to respect human rights. That's the real surprise here, that people say, well, he's anti-gay. You can be anti-gay marriage and not be anti-gay. And I think there's a distinction here. He's really moderate in this issue, it seems.
One life lost in this senseless way is tragic. 4 lives lost is a crisis. And these are just the stories we hear about. How many other teens have we lost? How many others are suffering in silence? Being a teenager and figuring out who you are is hard enough without someone attacking you. My heart is breaking for their families, for their friends, and for our society that continues to let this happen. These kids needed us, and we have an obligation to change this. There are messages everywhere that validate this kind of bullying and taunting, and we have to make it stop. We can't let intolerance and ignorance take another kid's life. And I want anyone out there who feels different and alone to know that I know how you feel. And there is help out there, and you can find support in your community. If you need someone to talk to, or if you want to get involved, there are some really great organizations listed on our website. Things will get easier, people's minds will change, and you should be alive to see it.